Hey, Jenny, we're stationed at fire headquarters in Emanuel County in Swainsboro, and these men and women responding to calls. This one right behind me, one of those calls. It is very dark, and that is the reason why we are out here, because a transformer blew. You can see that power line stretched across this road here, and as you look down into the distance, all you should be able to see is our headlights reflecting off of street signs because no power right here. We are right around the corner from kind of the hub of downtown Swainsboro, near fire headquarters as well. Their fire department here, some of their guys from their other fire department have come to this one because they are without power. So already experiencing some power outages here in Swainsboro. And these fire crews responding to downed trees, things like this behind me right now. That is where we're going to be stationed for the next couple hours here, kind of working with these men and women here at the fire department as they respond to calls. They've said that you can help them out by reporting things like this. This actually not too far from a fire station. Somebody called in and said that this transformer blew. They heard it, saw it, called, and that's exactly what they want you guys to do. When you see these things happen, call 911 here in Emanuel County. Even if it's not an emergency, the chief says that they have dispatchers that will reroute your call. If it is an emergency, route you where it's supposed to go. If it's not an emergency, route you where you're supposed to go as well. But the sooner that you call, the sooner that they can come out here and assess the damage, see what they can do to help. There's also something in Jenkins, Burke, and here in Emanuel County called Code Red. These are alerts that you guys can sign up for. You can go to your county's emergency management website to find a link. You can also search the app in your app store, put in your home address, and you can get alerts specific to where you live. Things like this, power outages, down trees, that kind of thing. The chief says that, guys, the number one way that you can stay safe is to stay off of these roads. Schools in all of the counties that I just mentioned are, western, southern counties. School in all those counties closed tomorrow, so no real reason to be out on the road. Even tomorrow after the storm has passed, they're saying stay off the road so that they can get out here, assess the damage, figure out what they can do to get it back up and running. If it's a down power line like this, move a tree off the road so that you guys can drive through safely. Brad and Jenny, we're going to be moving with there's a fire truck on this side of us. We're going to be moving kind of with them as they're responding to calls, but also trying to stay safe ourselves, which is why we've been staying with these first responders, because we feel like these men and women are the most equipped to keep us safe as well. Same with George and Katie, following their reports and watching the tracker, listening for tornado warnings for them as well. We're trying to stay safe out here as well in Emanuel County. Brad, Jenny.
All right, Ashley, I know that in Swainsboro, as they do in all good smaller towns, they usually roll up the sidewalks at nightfall. And I know the fire chief, when I was watching you on News Channel 6 at 10, said that he wanted to make sure nobody left their house tonight. Have you seen a soul on the streets down there?
Well, we did see a guy out here not too long ago, but he's the one who called about the transformer that blew behind me. So I think he was going over there to chat with the firefighters to tell them what he saw. But really, when we were rolling into town, all we saw was a Georgia State Patrol. We saw some sheriff deputies. I'm trying to pull up my map right here, Brad, to be able to tell you a street name that we are on.
Yeah.
We are on North Coleman Street right now. Those who are familiar with Swainsboro, we are near the Coleman House restaurant. This street runs parallel to North Main Street. I would not suggest driving down this street. You heard the chief earlier this evening say stay off the roads entirely, and what you see behind me is exactly why, because this transformer blew. You've got no street lights. We're talking about, some rural areas where your only ability to really see on either side of you on the road are these street lights. You don't have those right now in certain areas. So this is the reason, guys, that they're saying to stay off the roads. We're keeping our distance because these can be bad situations as well. We're not getting any closer to that transformer than we are right here because we've got some rain coming down, and obviously if electrical cords are exposed, that can cause fire hazards. So these men and women here at the fire department, we are kind of We've been chatting with them this evening, watching the progression of this, and I said earlier, guys, you've been hearing, sorry, that really scared me.
What was that, a train?
That is, I'm so sorry, that made me jump. No, that was the fire truck telling this Jeep Grand Cherokee to turn around because of the blown transformer that he obviously does not want this Jeep Grand Cherokee to drive over. So that was a fire truck. But what I was saying before was we've been chatting with these men and women, watching at the fire department, watching how this storm has, changed over the last not too long. I mean, when I first checked in with you guys at 11 o'clock, Brad, Jenny, I didn't have a hat on, didn't have a rain jacket on. It was very calm, pleasant, a few gusts of wind, that's it. But there has been a change just in the last, hour and a half in terms of wind. And even before the rain started coming down was when some of these transformers started blowing. And I was asking these guys, I said, is that common? And he said, yeah, if the winds get too strong, even gusts of them, it can rattle stuff in these transformers and they'll blow, causing power outages. So you can see these crews on scene right now trying to figure out what they can do. And honestly, for some of this stuff, there's not a whole lot they can do right now because we're on the front end of this storm. So we're still going to be dealing with rain. And like I was talking about before, that causes a dangerous situation for these firefighters, these men and women who are even highly trained in dealing with this kind of stuff. Still dangerous for them when you're talking about water and exposed electrical lines. Brad, Jenny, you guys have any other questions for us for what we're experiencing here?
I just wanted to reiterate what you were saying. You don't ever want to be around those downed wires.
Well, not also.
No, not at all.
Congratulations to the Emanuel County crews. They told you at the top of the 11 o'clock news that they were going to try to wait until morning to make sure they got to work and clear the streets. But here they are in the middle of the night trying to get things right so that when the sun rises, maybe they're a little bit ahead of the game. And I know that startled you, but that was sort of a sound of reassurance that they're not going to go to sleep. So everyone else should rest assured. Ashley Osborne, live in Emanuel County tonight. Thank you.
And right now we want to check in with Katie Reagan in the Forecast Center.